हरि ओम। श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञात्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति शिखरा यस्मात् आनन्दसाम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्रितं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। हेलो, हाय। You are also, yes. We are discussing Yoga Vasistha and the last part called Nirvana Prakaran, and in that also the last half and 25th chapter of Nirvana Prakaran, second half. There we were discussing about the story of an ascetic called monkey Brahman, and he was a great ascetic. He was searching for some guru, some guide, and he met Vasistha by the way, and he decided Vasistha will be fit person to advise him. So Vasistha also accepted his prayer, and Vasistha is explaining to monkey, the ascetic. Monkey's question was, in shortcut, this world is like a desert. Our life's journey is just like a journey in these deserts. Everywhere we are disturbed and tired by different kinds of abnormalities in always there will be hot sun, no water, hot air, no rest anywhere. This is how our life's journey is equal to a journey in the desert. No rest, exertion everywhere, problems. So the monkey Brahmin wanted some rest somewhere. In deserts, the travelers always being exhausted by walking and being troubled by all these abnormalities. They want rest. So he wanted permanent rest somewhere. That means the life is full of problems and always life is restless. Human life is always full of desires, restlessness and troubles, and there is no rest, real rest for a person in this world. So the ascetic wanted to know where he can rest peacefully. Vasistha ji explained, you see, this world is full of problems. The problem is caused by ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause of our problem. He gave many different examples, beautiful examples, and went on explaining to the Brahmin the cause of ignorance also. Ignorance is the cause for our miseries in the world. That means in the world's journey, the life's journey, which is nothing better than a journey in the deserts. And the root cause of the troubles or miseries is ignorance, and ignorance is also has also fourfold causes. They are of 4 types, and those 4 types he gave the examples. The first cause is cause of ignorance. The first cause is samvedana, and second is bhavana, third is vasana, and fourth is kalana. In this way, 4 causes of the ignorance, and these are explained by Vasistha ji to our ascetic, how these causes are the root of our ignorance, which is cause for our miseries in this life. So we were discussing, by the way, Vasistha ji told, we were discussing about the vasana. Vasana, the third, which is nothing but the desires and attachment to the sense objects of the world, and this is how life becomes miserable. In this context, he was telling, last time we saw, जो अजड़ वस्तु है वह जड़ता कभी धारण नहीं कर सकती है, और क्योंकि धर्म कभी भी छूटने वाले होते नहीं। जो आत्मतत्व अजड़ है उसे आपने जड़ रूप अंशांतर से देखा, पर वह तो कोई दूसरी ही चीज है। इसकी अजड़ के साथ एकता है ही नहीं। ऐसे स्थिति में अजड़ और बोध की एकता कैसे हो सकती है? इसके पहले भी हम देखे थे, ये जड़ और अजड़, जड़ का स्वभाव और अजड़ जो चेतन है उसका क्या स्वभाव, इसको विचार करने के लिए हम पहले क्या देखें? जड़ और ज्ञान की वास्तविक एकता है और वही आत्मरूप है। यूँ जो जैमिनी मतावलंबी लोग मानते हैं, उनके मत में भी वह ऐक्य जड़ वस्तुगत जड़ और ज्ञानगत अजड़ होगा। यूँ किसी एक रूप को वह कभी छोड़ ही नहीं सकता। ऐसे स्थिति में जड़ अंश में उसका स्फुरण न होते हुए भी चिदंश में स्फुरित हो रहा वह अन्योन्यो भेदन रूप निर्विषयक ऐक्य आ ही जाता है। We were discussing what Vasistha ji was explaining to monkey ascetic. You see, this ignorance is like this, all these four root causes of ignorance, all these he was explaining. And by the way, monkey asked, if this is like this, whatever you say, this is the reality of our ignorance and these are the causes of ignorance, and this is how we face our problems of the life. So everybody should accept it. Why there are so many different schools of thoughts? Why do they, all these great seers, research students who have done research on the vision of life, how is life, what is world, all these, many have done research and they have sacrificed a lot to get the result of their research. And in the end, whatever they declared, everyone differs from each other. How it is, why it's so? Why it should be like that? If the truth is one, if the process is like this, so why should be there any difference of opinions? In Eastern philosophy, our Indian philosophy, we have main 6 different schools of thoughts. They have different opinions. But finally, they somehow get forced to come to the one in the end, that is Vedantic thoughts of life. What is life? How is this world? So Vedanta says there is no world and only the absolute truth does exist. Nothing else exists. So they give all sorts of logic and analytical process to see how it is, what, and they gave different examples also. Everything is perfect logically truth. So everybody has to accept it in the end, of course, directly or indirectly. But in the beginning, they have difference of opinions. Why it is so? So Vasistha was explaining why there is difference of opinions. And finally, everybody has to accept one only, the final conclusion. Just like many people tried to climb the mountain and reach the peak. There will be hundreds of ways from the foot to hills. Anybody can adopt any track to reach the peak, but their tracks will be different from each other, and in the way they will experience a difference of experiences. So, as long as they have not reached the peak, they will have difference of opinion. Everybody will say, my path is right. I have experienced this and that in my path. This is the way to the peak. But finally, when everybody comes to the last peak point, everybody has to agree. It is only one. There cannot be 10 peaks. Only one. So finally, everybody is bound to accept the truth. The truth is, he says, the awareness cannot have non-awareness, and non-awareness cannot have awareness. There cannot be knowledge in ignorance, ignorance in knowledge. There cannot have presence in absence, and absence in presence. They are just 100% opposite to each other. They cannot be similar. So one is present means the other is absent. Absent cannot be present. Present cannot be absent. This is so simple. Everybody has to accept it. There cannot be sun in dark night, and there cannot be moon at midday. Only you can see the full moon at night and sun at daytime. Day means sun, sunlight. Night means darkness. So in this way, night cannot have day, day cannot have night. You cannot say, you cannot see the head when you are seeing the tail of the coin. And one who sees the tail, he cannot see the head of the coin. Of course, both together make one. Both together make the coin. Day and night together make the time. In this way, where there is presence, there will be absence, and where there is absence, there is presence. But presence cannot have absence in it. They are opposite, they are far away from each other. But both have to be there. That's how the relative world is understood. Relativity. One will be just opposite to the other. Then only relative world is possible. Relativity means between the two, relation between the two. In one there cannot be any relationship. So we came to this conclusion that the awareness, ajad, one which is not, who is aware of itself, indirectly we call it knowledge, knowledge of itself, awareness. Awareness cannot have unawareness, and unawareness cannot have awareness. In this way, Vasistha was explaining, so there came a question. If this is like this, then why should be there any difference of opinion? This is so simple, everybody can accept it. How can there be any difference of opinions? This is what we were discussing last time. जब ऐसी ही स्थिति है, जो अजड़ वस्तु है वो जड़ता कभी धारण नहीं कर सकती है, क्योंकि धर्म कभी भी छूटने वाले होते ही नहीं. Just as the fire cannot be cold and the water cannot be hot. Water has its property as coolness, or it is liquid, or it has some qualities which is nature of it, properties that cannot be changed. Likewise, this fire will not be cold, it cannot be dark. Fire has light, fire has heat. Without heat and light, there is nothing called fire. So these are the quality or the properties of the fire. They cannot be different from it. If this is like this, so how we understand in common parlance, how we understand it? Whether the heat is different from fire or it is one with the fire. The quality of the object is different from the object or it is one and the same. This is to be understood. This is the most difficult, though it is so simple, most difficult aspect to understand and accept. Aspect to accept is difficult. How it is difficult, you see. You see, the fire has its quality. Quality is heat. When we try to understand what is fire, Without its quality, we cannot understand what is fire. Understanding is always between the two. If there is two, then only one understands the other. Just like now we discussed relationship, understanding or explaining to somebody or understanding from someone, all these question or answer, all these is possible between two. If one is there, all these questions do not arise. There is no understanding. Do you try to understand yourself? You are understood, eternal understanding is there. I am. Are you not aware of yourself? Do you ask yourself, do I exist? What is my name? Who am I? Does anyone ask like this when he is all alone? All these questions arise when there are two. If somebody is searching for you, hello Mr. X, where are you? Yes, I am here inside the bedroom. Just wait, I am coming. Yes, I am here. Where is the need to say so? If question is asked, if there are two, relationship starts. Where are you? Who are you? What is your name? All these answers are given to others, not to ourselves. Question and answer is possible between two. In one, there is no possibility of all these. No relationship, no relativity, law of relativity doesn't apply here. So, what is understood? If I say there is fire, saying means it is dualistic. I have to say means somebody is here. I have to express it. Expression is between two. If you are all alone there is no need of any expression in one. When there are two, then only need arises for you to express yourself in any way you like, by the name or by the form or by your situation or your qualities, whatever is art you have to express. This is only required when there are two. This is so simple, everybody understands. So, when you try to say fire, fire means you have to bring its quality, or else you cannot express what is fire. Quality means its properties, its nature. All these only difference in words, but same thing. Fire means heat, fire means light. Without this, you cannot explain what is fire. So, what we come to decide? The qualities, of course, belong to the object. It is expressed when there is relativity, when there is two. Without that, the object is not known. And The qualities are not different from the object. They are from one angle, from one point of angle. They are identical. The nature and the object both are identical. There is no difference. From relative point of view, there is difference. Okay? This is clear. If there are two, there is need of expression, then there are difference. And if there is not such need arise, then there is no difference. It is identical, it is one and the same. Heat is not different from fire. And if you express, it is different from fire. You have to tell what is your name. When you express your identity, you have to tell your name, your form, your all other so-called information about you, where you were born, to all these different, what do you do there, where is your birthplace, and from which country you are, what language you speak, what work do you do, what knowledge you have got, what name you have, what all these are necessary to express only when there are two. So finally we have to come to the conclusion. If there are two from the worldly point of view, relative point of view, we have to see difference. Then only we can express, we can have transactions among ourselves, we can understand something. Or else, if there is absolute one, then the object is not different from its qualities or nature. Both are identical. Two angles of vision, dualistic vision, and one is monoistic, from one point of angle and from 2 point of angle. So now he says, जब ऐसी स्थिति है तब आत्मवादी लोग एक दूसरे के विरुद्ध तरह तरह के आत्मा के स्वरूप क्यों मानते हैं? So here there was the question, if the truth is one, the question was from the student. If the truth is one, why it is expressed differently, why there is difference of opinions on Atma, the truth? सैकड़ों कुत्सित विकारों से, वासनाओं से तथा अभिमानों से भरे लोग बाह्य दृष्टियों से ही आत्मतत्व की समीक्षा करते करते ऐसे नीचे से नीचे की ओर दौड़ते जाते हैं जैसे पर्वत से च्युत हुई पाषाण शिला नीचे से नीचे की ओर दौड़ती हुई जाती है. So he is explaining, but it is explaining to monkey. You see, when he gives the example, when a stone falls from the height of the mountain, will it stop somewhere? from high mountain it is fallen. It will go on falling, 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 and till it reaches the bottom. Go on rushing towards the depth till it reaches the foot of the hill. Similarly, all these people who start arguing on one, how does it look? So they go on arguing and go on differing from each other, and they go so far they cannot reach each other. They don't agree to any point because argument has no end. If you go on arguing, there cannot be any conclusion. No. Argument takes you nowhere. Then what is the way to reach the truth, reality? It is not by argument simply. Little argument is of course required, faith and experience. On your experience you should have faith. You should have faith on your guide who has seen who has experienced the truth, who can guide you towards the truth, who can show you the path. You have to believe him, and you have to go on the way. You have to experience it, how it is, why we differ from each other. You see, we have different two kinds of knowledge always we have discussed. One is informative knowledge, other is experiential knowledge. You have not seen Gangotri, but I have gone to Gangotri 50 times. Every year 10 times I used to go to Gangotri. I know each and every information about Gangotri. All throughout the year, how Gangotri temperature differs from time to time, how there will be snowfall in the hilltops in winter days, and what all difficulties people meet in winter, and what happens to Gangotri area in summer days when the visitors start coming there, what kind of jungle is there, what kind of plants are seen in Gangotri area, what is the temperature, how are the rivers, and what are the mountains around it, and what type of people live there. All these informations I got bit by bit. Since 20 years I have been seeing Gangotri. 50 years I have been seeing Gangotri. But you have some theoretical knowledge or informative knowledge about Gangotri more than myself. You go on arguing. No. Have you seen their grasses? What kind of grasses grown in Gangotri jungle? Why there should not be any grass in winter days? Go on arguing. What kind of, mushrooms you get in Gangotri area? Where do you get? What kind of herbs you get in Gangotri? You have plenty of information, but you have not seen all those, not you have experience of how do they grow, where do they grow, what kind of collection is made by the people, how do they collect all these herbs or all these items from the jungle. So all these, you can get Silajit also in Gangotri hills. But where do you get? You have information. We can get Silajit in Gangotri hills. But where? Have you seen? I have seen it. So in this way, you may be having so much information about Gangotri that is not enough. That is nothing before my experience in Gangotri. I have stayed there. I know each and every details of Gangotri. This is how two kinds of knowledge. I have got experiential knowledge. You have got your informative knowledge, which is not enough. Here, informative knowledge only has doubts and differences and all these. But if you too have stayed in Gangotri for 20 years, I have stayed there for 20, 30 years, we will not quarrel among ourselves. Gangotri is like that, Gangotri is like that. We will not have any difference of opinions. Both know, both of us will know each other. There will not be any difference of opinion. So the difference starts here between the informative knowledge and experiential knowledge. The truth is experienced by everyone, but when it is expressed, it becomes different from each other. That's how they differ from each other. Everybody has tasted honey. You know how is honey. I know how honey tastes like. Everybody of us, we know how honey tastes. But if you say you speak in English, I speak in Hindi, and he will speak giving some examples in Hindi, it is just like the syrup of sugar. Is it right 100%? I will say, no, it is not the syrup of sugar, but sugar candy. He will say, no, it is just like the sweetness of the juice of red wheat. No, it is just like this, that. There will be difference and we shall go on fighting with each other. No, you are wrong, I am right, he is wrong. In this way. But if all of us have tasted honey, we will not fight against each other. Everybody knows how honey tastes like. So here is the difference. Awareness and non-awareness. Awareness means there cannot be any difference. Unawareness means it is informative knowledge about the awareness, how is the truth. सैकड़ों कुत्सित विकारों से, विकार means all these impurities, means expression means there will be impurities. when you express your experience, it has to have some support of language and your expression style and many other things. It gets impure. Experience is pure, that is awareness, you know it. When you express, you have to use some body language or symbolic some language or your verbal language or something you have to use to express your experience. That's how it takes the support of many other helps. Then only you can express your experience. So expression is not pure, it is polluted, it is supported, it is not independent, it is conditional, it is dependent on many other factors. This is how there will be always difference of opinions. And this is why the Vedas declared Ekaha Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. The truth is one, but the seers of the truth, experienced people of the truth, they explain it in different ways. In many different ways they express it. You see, many people have climbed our Everest. Here we have 3-4 people in Uttarkasi district. They have reached Everest. Some young girl, a 15-16 years old girl, she went to Everest and she has experience. But in different time, different way they have gone. And when they start expressing, their expressions will be different. In the same group, the group leader has reached and the group member has reached the peak. When they come and they explain how they reached the peak, their expression will be different. In this way, there are really differences. So there is no question if you see difference in opinions. Nothing to worry about. इसलिए स्व वासना रूपी वायुओं द्वारा इधर उधर उड़ाए गए उपनिषद दृष्टि से च्युत पुरुष रूपी तिनकों के ऊपर वे सब दुख जो कि लोक में तथा शास्त्रों में वर्णित हैं गिरते हैं, कितने गिरते हैं, इस विषय में कोई कह ही नहीं सकता है. So finally he said, there will be difference of opinions and the difference will go on multiplying. How? I have told you something. My experience I express to you, the first person. The first person goes to explain what he got from me, information. He is going to give that information to the third person. the language and everything will change. When it reaches the 10th one, it will be so much different from the original one. Hari Om. Don't worry about the differences. Try to understand the inner reality. Let the people break their head. You have to worry for nothing. You have to experience the truth. That is the final conclusion. उसी का वर्णन करते हुए उपसंहार करते हैं। अपनी वासना और अपने अपने अभिमान के अनुसार राग आदि रसों से रंगे गए लोग करतल से ताड़ित गेंद के सदृश इधर उधर खूब घूम फिर कर नरक में गिरते हैं। यहाँ पर दीर्घ काल तक तरह तरह की यातनाओं के क्लेशों से सब ओर से जर्जर होकर कालांतर में स्थावर कृमि कीट आदि जन्म लेकर अन्य से हो जाते हैं। फिर मनुष्य जन्म उनके लिए दुर्लभ ही बना रहता है। So finally, Vasistha ji gives his conclusive opinion in the end of this chapter to monkey. My dear, because of all these vasana, we were discussing on the third cause of ignorance. The first is samvedana, then bhavana, third is vasana. How vasana is the cause for ignorance, which is cause for the world. World means the house of miseries. So, finally he concludes, because of these vasanas, अपने अपने अभिमान के अनुसार, everybody has his different ego. We have discussed about ego, how ego is always changing, and ego is cause for bhavana, and bhavana is cause for vasana, and vasana means desires. Desires are due to ego also. Ego is the root cause. And thoughts, they are the thought process is when equipped with ego, I, everywhere, every thought has got that I-ness, and when they get contact with the objects of the senses, they are repeated, and the vasana is originated from that. Vasana desires to have it, or to have the contact again and again. That's how our senses are ever engaged with the contact with sense objects, and desires go on multiplying. And this is caused by the ego, by the bhavana, thought power, and it takes the form of vasana. And when it takes the form of vasana, desires, then every ego goes far away from each other, fulfilling the desires. We go each one different, far away from others. Our difference is because of our desires, or else we have no difference. Bhavana and samvedana and vasana, these are cause for our difference between us. Why you are different from me? Because your lifestyle is different from me, because you have different assumptions, you have different ideas of your life. What do you need in life? Your necessities make different from others. You need different than I need, isn't it? They are rooted in desires. That's how we have differences. And these differences bring us to have difference of opinions also and fights. Everybody fights with others because of difference of opinions. Two means there is fight. We cannot keep quiet. This is not possible at all. अपने अपने अभिमान के अनुसार, because of the desires, because of your egos, रसों से रंगे गए लोग करतल से ताड़ित गेंद के सदृश. He gives the example of volleyball. करतल से ताड़ित गेंद. Two teams are playing the match, volleyball match. How the ball runs from here to there, either and there. He gives a fine shot and the other tries to protect it, it goes there. The ball goes either and either because of strike from everyone. This is how we fight with each other because of our desires. इधर उधर खूब घूम फिर करके नरक में गिरते हैं. Finally the ball, it goes out. Cricket ball, sometimes if the batsman hits a strong hit, it goes beyond the stadium, other side of the stadium, not to be found again. नरक में ऐसे ही सड़ते हैं सब और फिर नहीं आते हैं वापस. That ball will not come again to the ground. In this way, being struck by desires, we go away, away, away in the hells, different kinds of hells. And to get back to our human life, it becomes so difficult, sometimes impossible. going round and round in different yonis, different lives. क्या क्या नहीं होता है, कहीं कीड़े मकोड़े, कहीं पेड़ लता, कहीं पक्षी जानवर, क्या क्या होकर 84 lakhs of varieties of beings. So anywhere you may be put because of your desire. Desires are our steering of our body's journey in the path of life's journey. And this path is just like a track in desert. Everywhere we feel difficulties, troubles, sufferings, problems, because of our own desires only. Thus ended 25th chapter, which gave us the clarity of ignorance, how ignorance is cause of our miseries in this world, that is the root cause, and how this ignorance is of 4 types. In the next chapter, 26th, we shall see भावना जनित रागादि दोषों से अनर्थों का आना तथा विवेक जनित तत्वज्ञान से रागादि दोषों के विनाश द्वारा उनका निकल जाना, यह वर्णन. So in this 26th chapter we shall see how being swayed away by our desires, we get attachment with the objects of our mundane objects of our senses, and we get all sorts of troubles. Do you think by contact with objects we get trouble? Is it? If you touch water, will you get trouble? No? Yes? No?
Not contact, knowledge of the objects makes us...
No, he says, being swayed away by bhavana, by vasanas, desires, we get all sorts of troubles by ragadi dosh, by attachment. When we get attached to the objects, being forced by the desires, then we get all these troubles. When you are attached to something, then either you will be happy or unhappy, both type. And if you are happy for some time, then you will be bound to be unhappy. Why? Because if you have the object, you have to lose the object also. Because everything is subject to change. If you get it, you have to lose it. If you are happy, you have to be unhappy. Your day will not continue for eternity. You have to face night. Your happiness, so-called worldly happiness, is momentary. You will also argue, your unhappiness also is momentary. Yes, it is also momentary. So, unhappiness or your suffering is more. Why? Because it changes. When happiness changes, one unhappiness, and the unhappiness due to not getting the object, desired object, that is also second to the unhappiness to the to power 2. Then again all these powers go on increasing. Unhappiness becomes stronger than happiness. Losing it also unhappiness. And having contact also, that is also either good or bad, both will be there. There also unhappiness is possible. So in this way, negativity is stronger than the positive aspect you see everywhere.
Negativity is stronger than.
Yes.
How?
Huh?
How?
How? We shall see here. We shall discuss thoroughly. But for the time being, you see, you are doing some business. Okay? You have investigated how much you want to investigate. Come on, 10,000 in some business. You are going to do some business. World is a business. Either happiness or unhappiness we get. Either we gain something or we lose something. So it is business, isn't it? How much you want to invest? Say 10,000. Okay? For some time, you went on gaining, say, 5%. For 2 years, you went on gaining 5%. Okay, how much will you get? 5%, 10,000. Come on. Calculator. You cannot calculate it. We have been so dependent on a calculator and all this. You will gain something. Okay. Huh? Pardon? Pardon?
200 will get.
200 in 1 year. In 1 year, isn't it? 200. Okay. After that, suppose you are doing business with 10,000 and you have gained 200 page in 1 year. I have started the same business with investing 10,000. I am losing 5% for 1 year. I lost. How much I shall lose? 200.
Gain 200 is lost.
Okay. You will have plus 200, I will have minus 200. Now, if you close, both are closing our business, what will be the situation? Come on. For some time we have decided, no, we shall stop our business. What will happen?
Both are at loss.
Pardon?
Both are at loss.
Both are?
At loss.
Both are at loss. How?
Because he's 10,200 he has gained, but now it will depreciate after if he has opened it. He will be in loss.
So negative is more powerful. He will be more sad, isn't it? Both way negative will have influence.
Suddenly that negativity, someone thought, okay, I will go for gamble. Then I will earn thousands of rupees. But again, negativity is there now.
Yes.
With that idea.
Negative is always with, it is stronger than positive. But finally the positive wins.
Yes.
That is the beauty. If the business is stopped forever, then positive is winner. Negative is always loser. Anyway, because of attachment, what happens? Attachment creates more and more desires, so it increases, negativity increases. You are ever restless. If there is no attachment, your desires are stopped then and there. If your desires have attachment for the objects, then it needs repetition again and again. Because of attachment, you need it again and again. That's how the desires grow and one becomes restless to fulfill the desires. This is how the attachment caused by desires are to be overcome by discrimination. Discrimination. By finding fault with the worldly objects or sense objects and with the attachment and with desires, how the desires are always dangerous and how the attachment caused by desires is still more dangerous and how it binds us. It puts us into the wheel of this desires and fulfilling desires, again increasing and again this. It goes on endlessly. This is not good because it does not give us any rest, because of restlessness, because of ever exhaustion and getting nothing, losing everything. This is how finding fault with our common thought process and life process. And if we don't have this attachment, we don't have contact with the sense subjects, no desires, no attachment, then there is possibility of rest. That is the positive way. In this way one has to find fault with one, this vasana, desire and attachment process, and we have to find goodness with the other path, to give up all these, to renounce all these, to give up all these. No, I don't want anything. I want means there is no need, end to your needs. And if you don't want, with one full stop, everything is gone. I don't want anything. That is enough. You are at rest. I want something. Is there any end to your needs? What not you need? Whatever you see, whatever you have contact with, that is repeated means there is desire more and more for it, and you are gone. There is no end to it. So you have to use your discriminative power, finding fault with this worldly process of our mental thought process, having contact with the objects of senses and desires and attachment. All these are faulty process, finding fault with this and finding goodness in keeping quiet or not having attachment, not having desires less or attachment less, detachment, all these, renouncing all these faulty process. This is how we have to discriminate, to decide between the good and bad, permanent and impermanent. This is eternal process of world, and that is the eternal achievement which never changes of peace and rest, eternal rest. This is how one has to overcome these causes of ignorance by the help of discriminative power. This is what we shall see in this chapter. And that discrimination done by the dawn of knowledge. By the dawn of knowledge. What is knowledge? Again the same. Again the same. We have come to the same cycle. What is knowledge? Knowledge of two kinds. One is worldly knowledge, informative knowledge. Other is experiential knowledge, which is eternal, which cannot change, which is not subject to change, which is eternal, which is one with everyone. That is only the knowledge, and other knowledge is no knowledge, informative knowledge. Whatever we know in this world or about this world, which is ever changing, that knowledge is not capable of giving us peace or rest or solutions, contentment. No, it cannot give, because it changes. Whatever knowledge we have, it is not enough because it changes. It changes. So it is incomplete. So how can it give you perfection or continuous rest, which is ever restless? So in this way, one has to go on contemplating and discriminating. This is possible when there is dawn of knowledge. That means both are dependent of each other. When you try to get something, the object comes to you. If you go, this is how Gurudev used to say, if you go one step towards God, God will come 10 steps towards you. But if you go away one step from God, He will go 10 steps away from you. Both ways. So your trial is a must. Your self-effort is a must. And again the question comes whether self-effort is a must and it will have the result, or many other factors are there which is beyond our effort, say God's will or situations, surroundings, conditions around us, time. Have you got control over time? Do whatever effort you want, you can. But you are under the clutches of time. Nobody can do anything about situations. See, now this year we have not enjoyed what is summer. Whole year we are getting only rains. Have you got any control over the nature? Why did you not enjoy summer? Because you don't have any control over the nature. Nature is nature. It has control over you, not you have control over it. So you are subject to nature and surroundings, conditions, time, space, everything. Your effort is nothing before all these. So what is then the need of your self-effort? No. It is a must. You see, unless and until you start your journey from here to Gangotri, can you reach Gangotri? You have to come to the track, start the journey. One day or other, even though all kinds of troubles you may meet in the way, there will be landslides and there will be some terrorist attack, there will be some snowfall or thunders, and yes, and there will be some strike, some local agitation. They will stop the road by putting barricades, etc. So all sorts of troubles you may meet. That doesn't mean you should not start the journey. Never mind. March on, march on, march on, hero. 1,001 times you may fail, but the second time you will win. What did Edison or who said? Edison. Edison said, I have not failed 1,000 times, but successfully I have found out such 1,000 ways which are not useful for me. You will gain your experience, how to go across hurdles, obstacles. You will get your experience. You will be encouraged. So don't fear for the troubles. They are sure to come in the way. But you will have to go across all those obstacles and all those interruptions, whatever comes in your way. So one day or other you are going to reach the goal. If you not start the journey, how can you? So finally your self-effort will make you winner. Not today, never mind after 10 years, but one day or other you are going to reach the goal. मनो धीर धरो घबराओ नहीं, तुझे राम मिलेंगे कभी न कभी। गंगा में नहीं, जमुना में नहीं, सूरज में मिलेंगे कभी न कभी। मन धीर धरो घबराओ नहीं, तुझे राम मिलेंगे कभी न कभी। One day or other you will get your goal. Have patience, have self-confidence. Go on doing effort. One day or other you will get your goal. If you start not, if you have no effort, how can you reach the goal? There is a beautiful saying, standing at the footbridge, gazing at the sky, how can you get up bridge if you never try? Standing at the foot of the mountain, standing at the footbridge, gazing at the sky, oh, I have to reach the peak. Simply gazing at the sky. How can you get up bridge if you never tried? Simple saying for children. And what to speak of all our seekers, you have to try. Self-effort is a must. And one day or other it will be winner. You will get your goal. So, all these faults, all these mistakes, whatever, all these obstacles, whatever come in our way, in the form of attachment, desires, and contact with the sense objects, all these, they can be overcome by dawn of knowledge. If you try one day or other, there will be the dawn of knowledge and discrimination, and you will be able to overcome all these. So all these we shall discuss in this chapter, how to overcome all these troubles of the life. वशिष्ठ जी ने कहा, भद्र, स्थावर आदि जोनि रूप संसार मार्ग में गिरे हुए जीव के ऊपर मेघ के आने पर लाखों कीटों के आगमन के सदृश छेदन, भेदन, दहन, क्षुधा आदि रूप लाखों बातें आती रहती हैं। Tomorrow we shall see further in detail. Today just starting. Maharaj Vasistha, the Guru Vasistha explains, my dear monkey, my dear monkey, you see, in all these different yonis means different lives. Lives are of innumerable types, 84 lakhs, different kinds of beings. 84 lakhs of different wombs, means different types of beings. So, other than the human beings, everybody is, all the beings, they are not qualified for the achievement of the knowledge, self-knowledge. Nobody, no other beings. Only human beings are qualified. Why? Because they are given the chance with only being equipped with a discriminative power. All other beings have four aspects. How to live means trial for living, keep up their life, and fear of losing life. And food to keep up the life. Food, every being has its food. Food means supply of energy. Supply of energy. One energy gets transferred into other energy. So in this way, that energy cycle should go on so that the life will go on. The journey of life in all these beings, every life, every being has four aspects. One is sustaining his body, life, and the other is propagation. That means whatever he gains in this life, it has to be protected or inherited by someone. That aspect is always there in all these beings. That is the cause of being entangled for eternity. There is no end to it. I have something, I and mine. Every being has I and mine. When I will be there, some belongings will be there, body will be there, and its protection, and some future from past, and some assumption, some accumulation, so that accumulated my should be protected after my going away from this body. That desire is always there in all these beings, except a human being with discriminative power. One among millions and billions of human beings also. Human being is equipped with this power, discriminative power, that too not every human being. So, ahara, nidra, and rest. Everybody wants, every being wants to rest, because journey gives you exertion. Every being wants to rest. The rest means no continuation. Continuity is never seen in life's journey. Whatever type of being it may be. But life's journey means not continuous. Journey means it is interrupted every now and then. So rest is a must. Though rest is not continuous. Rest is not continuous, journey also is not continuous. That's how it goes on repeating again and again. So rest, everybody wants rest. Every being. Nidra, bhai, maithun, ahar. Four. Ahara, nidra, bhai, maithun. Maithun means propagation of his own genetic existence, whatever is he, whatever is the being, it wants to multiply. Multiplication is the fundamental momentum which is the starting of the creation. It has to go on to multiply. One becomes many. That is the process. That is nature. Without that, there is no creation. So every being has to multiply. That multiplicative theory process is called progeny, and we have to multiply. I should have my inheritor. It should go on. My heritage should go on. So that desire is there in every being, whether he is a human being or any being. In this way, all these beings are tied up, as it were, to these desires, 4 types of desires. And one among all these capable beings are qualified beings, named human beings. One among crores of human beings, one will be given this chance, discrimination. He will set fire to all these process and sit quiet. Hardly one. Manusyanam sahasresu kaschid dadati siddhaye. And in those also, one among all these thousands, very hard to get rid of all these. But it is not, of course it is hard, it is not impossible. It sometimes becomes so easy, the easiest, most. In a moment it can be achieved, but that moment is allowed to one, not to us. Tomorrow we shall see further. We have started 26th chapter today. Hari Om. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisthate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय. शब्द ब्रह्म की जय. सरस्वती महारानी की जय. जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय.